Welcome to Believeland show. I have a guest today. Well, you just introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I'm Paul. I am good friends with Mr. Anthony McClavick here. I am honored to be on the Believeland show as a guest, and I'm excited for the topics we talked about today.
Alright. So, this is the second guest episode, so stay tuned. Alright, the first topic we're talking about. What if Michael Jordan never retired 2 times? Like, his baseball, and then, after that, his championship.
So we're talking in between the 2 three-peats, right?
Yeah.
First retirement with the Bulls, and then the
Then
second one after the Bulls, right before the Wizards.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the effect of that. What do you think about it?
He could have been, he could have won more championships. Could have won, he could have been the all-time scoring leader and all that, so.
It's hard to say. Didn't he get in trouble for sports gambling?
Yeah.
During that, I think it was the 2 years in between the three-peats. Wasn't that he got technically suspended or retired?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, who won? Wasn't it the Rockets that won back to back, right?
Yep.
Those 2 years in between.
94, 95.
Those are pretty solid teams. It would have been interesting because I feel like the Bulls probably could have made it out of the East.
Yeah.
Those 2 years. But I don't know if they would have competed with the Rockets and how they would have matched up. Would have been a great matchup though.
Yeah.
When it comes to second retirement, I don't really know. He should have just stayed retirement. I don't know why he came back to the Wizards. Didn't have much success.
Yeah.
You got anything about that?
He was a 2-time All-Star with the Wizards.
That's true. That is true. He just wasn't at the elite level that he was at.
Yeah.
When he was in Chicago.
Second big question: what if Larry Bird never hurt his back?
Larry Bird never hurt his back. Ooh.
Would he play more years?
How many years did he play in the league?
13.
13 years.
Yeah.
He won 3 titles.
Yeah.
3, 4. I think Magic won 4, right? Larry won 3. Is that how?
Magic won 5.
Oh, Magic won 5. Okay, and Larry won 3.
Yeah.
It's interesting how, because didn't his career get a little cut short because of the injuries?
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
I think he. I think he could have won more championships if he stayed healthy with his back.
Yeah. Because it was him, and then there was I know there was Kevin McHale.
Yeah.
And who's the other guy in that big?
Robert Parrish.
Robert Parrish. He was another one.
Danny Ainge.
I mean, if they were all healthy, I feel like they could have won another title or 2.
Yeah. Second or third, what if Magic Johnson never had AIDS?
Magic Johnson never had AIDS.
Yeah.
What year did he get AIDS discovered? Do you know?
91.
91. Okay. And that was toward the tail end of his career, right?
Yeah.
So I don't really know how much more. I mean, he was kind of aging.
Yeah.
I think it would have been Jordan's takeover at that point. I just think Magic would have been too old.
Yeah.
And those 90s were definitely dominated by Michael Jordan and the Bulls.
Yeah. Is Bo Jackson the best athlete? If so, why? Ever? If so, why?
Talking multi-sport athlete or just athlete in general?
Athlete in general. If so, why?
It's hard to say. I mean, he's one hell of an athlete in baseball and football. But, I mean, I don't know. I just think you look at some other athletes.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at, LeBron plays basketball. He's, a decent size. Could probably play in the NFL or something. You look at some of the NFL players, and they're built and everything. Yeah. It's hard to say. I mean, even you look at guys in the Olympics. You look at, Usain Bolt and what the events he competes in. To be an athlete and run those times, I mean, you got to be out there. You got to be athletic.
Yep.
What do you think?
he's one of the greatest athletes, but he's not the best athlete.
I agree with that. Yeah, I don't think he's the best.
Yeah.
Did he ever win a title or a World Series? Do you have any chance?
Oh no.
Okay.
He's not in Hall of Fame, but like
I don't think he's played. Well, I want to say he's like the only athlete that's played in the Super Bowl and World Series. Am I right? Or is that somebody else I'm thinking of? I think about Deion Sanders maybe.
Deion, yeah.
Deion, okay.
Okay. Will LeBron be the GOAT if he passed Kareem in all-time scoring?
Do you consider Kareem the GOAT right now?
Kareem? I consider Jordan the GOAT.
Okay.
But Kareem's one of the best players.
Okay, so then I'm not considering LeBron the GOAT if he passes Kareem then.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, honestly, I think Kareem's a little underrated, you know. I think you could have a good argument for being the GOAT, you know. He's got, 5 titles or something? He's got a bunch of titles.
6 titles, 6 MVPs.
6 MVPs.
Yeah.
As of right now, he's still the top leading scorer in the NBA all time.
Yeah. I think they want to try to hype up for LeBron.
Yeah, they probably do. I don't see the Lakers winning the title anytime soon. I don't know if LeBron's ever going to win another title.
Yeah.
I think he's capped at 4 right now.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe the Lakers will turn it around, or I don't know. Maybe he'll come back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Should men be ever allowed to compete with women in sports?
No.
Why?
Just genetically, if you're a man, you have an unfair advantage over a woman.
Yeah. It's just saying like a woman playing football with men.
Yeah. I just think if you're a woman and you've been working your whole life in something.
Yeah.
And you like if you're a top-notch swimmer in the Olympics, and you beat all the other females, but you come in second place. The person that came in first is a male. It's like, well, they had an advantage. I think it was that one swimmer from Penn or something.
Yeah.
They won their event. But they were actually a man, and a bunch of the other female swimmers that were actually females got pretty upset about that. I understand that.
What about basketball?
Basketball. I think all the sports are the same. I think just athletically and genetically, you just can't really compete together.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion.
What is the hardest position to play in baseball?
Hardest position.
I would say pitcher because you need a good arm.
I gotta say either pitcher or catcher.
Yeah, catcher's hard too.
Catcher, that is not easy. You're catching the ball all game.
Yeah. And then you can't hit too barely.
When you're a catcher, you're not really valued as much of a hitter. You're there for your defense. You're catching all 9 innings. Whereas if you're a pitcher, if you're a starting pitcher, you'll last most of the game. You pitch once every 3 or 4 games. You're not pitching the whole game. You don't have to worry about batting and all that. Obviously to have the skill to throw 90, 100 miles an hour, up to 100 pitches a game. Sometimes that takes a lot of skill. But I think catcher is just you're playing almost every day.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like the leader. You have the position where everyone in the field is facing the batter. Yeah. And when you're the catcher, you're facing the pitcher and the rest of the fielder. So you're kind of seeing it from a different angle, kind of instruct everyone on the field how to play it.
Yep. Where we at? Who is the greatest baseball hitter ever?
Baseball hitter?
Ted Williams and Babe Ruth are in the conversation.
Ted Williams, Babe Ruth, yeah, I'd agree with those. Ken Griffey was a solid hitter.
He has a nice swing, but if he's the greatest hitter, he could be a conversation. Mickey Mantle, Aaron Judge, maybe if he broke the 60-second home run record.
I'd agree with all those, yeah. I think they're pretty solid.
What is the best rivalry in sports?
I'm going Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a little biased with that, but I was at the Ohio State Michigan game this year. Not the result I wanted, but it was pretty cool, the whole seat and everything.
Yeah. What's better to watch, college sports or pro sports? If so, why?
Pro sports.
Why?
You just watch. I like watching. I mean, I'll talk about football for now, but like you watch college football. I mean, I go to Ohio State, so like I get to watch all the games there. I mean, the atmosphere in those games is crazy, and you turn on TV on a given Saturday in the fall.
Yeah.
I mean, every channel has a game from noon to 1:30 in the morning. You got those West Coast games. I mean, you got all of those going on. I think that's a really cool scene.
Yeah.
And then obviously on Sundays, I mean, NFL football. I mean, you're watching the best of the best play.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really get any of the, I guess, crappy matchups sometimes. But sometimes you get some games where it's two teams underneath 500. They're not they don't have any title chances or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're supporting one of the teams in that. But I think in NFL, it's a lot more balanced competition wise.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody can win any given week. Because I watched like the Jacksonville Jaguars beat the Dallas Cowboys, and like teams with those like differences in records. I mean, you don't see an upset like that in college football. I mean, it's very rare.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the better things. I mean, obviously, like the playoffs in the NFL are so much better, more hyped. I mean, the Super Bowl has so much higher rankings than the college playoff football.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, talk about baseball. I mean, I hardly ever watch college baseball. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really watch it.
College baseball is underrated.
I mean, I just don't really watch. I know it's popular down in the Southeastern Conference down south. I know a lot of those schools thrive down there. I mean, Ohio State's mediocre at it. They're decent. I mean, Ohio State's good in everything, but they're not that level. And then we're talking basketball. I mean, I definitely like NBA a lot better than college basketball. I mean, I am a really big fan of the March Madness. I really like that whole setup. I think that's pretty cool. But other than that, I mean, I don't watch college basketball besides the whole March Madness tournament. What about you? What do you think about it?
I like college sports is fun to watch, but like if you like want to watch highlights, you watch like pro sports.
I think I mean, everyone in the pros was a good college athlete, right?
Yeah.
So.
Which sports championship would you attend? Would you want to attend?
You're talking like Super Bowl, finals.
Yeah. World Series, Stanley Cup.
Unpopular opinion. I'd want to watch the World Cup final. I saw that on Sunday. Did you watch that game on Sunday?
Yeah.
I mean, I've hardly ever watched soccer.
Yeah.
I was watching. That was pretty cool. They scored 6, 7 goals or something like that in total.
Yeah.
There's like a couple billion people watching the game. I thought that was pretty cool. Obviously, the U.S. isn't at their kind of level in soccer, but it'll be kind of cool when it comes to the U.S. in 4 years.
I'll watch anything. So like, World Series is fun if we have a good competition.
See, I'm not a big fan. I mean, I like obviously when the Indians were in the playoffs. I was watching them. Once they got eliminated, I really didn't care about it.
And then like the Super Bowl, it's like one game.
Super Bowl is one game. I mean, it's the same thing. Pretty big. I mean, that's the thing with like the World Series and NBA Finals is that there could be up to 7 games, and depending on how the series goes. I mean, if there's a series, it's game 4, but one team's up 3-0. I mean, if you're the other team, who really cares, right?
Right.
Obviously you got a big game like Game 7 of the 2016 Finals. I mean, that was probably the greatest game I've ever watched. I mean, as a Cavs fan, that was pretty hype. I don't know. I'm assuming you were probably excited about that.
Yeah. All right. Should NBA do like a street ball game?
It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll do it.
Like an outdoor game, like
outdoor pickup ball.
Yeah.
I could see them doing it. I mean, they'll probably. I mean,
they should.
It's just a thing of like they don't want to have injuries and like I think there's egos and all that.
Yeah.
But if they did something, maybe they'll do it for like race charity or something. I mean, it'd be nice. I wouldn't be opposed for it.
Would they put like the same rules, like a shot clock violation and all that?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Would you rather lose a championship or never make the playoffs?
Man, we're talking like just go to one championship and lose that, or
yeah.
I mean, I'd want to win a championship, but I mean, I feel like competing at that high level for a championship would be pretty cool. I mean, I don't know. I mean, part of the reason you want to play is to make the playoffs and win a championship. So
Yeah.
I'd definitely rather lose. I mean, it's heartbreaking, making it that far and losing, but
Yeah. Best MVP season all time in each sport.
ooh. What do you have to say about this? I'm not very knowledgeable. I know a couple MVPs from different sports, but you probably know more history about that than me.
Probably recent. Aaron Judge is recent, so that's
He had a pretty good season. I'm not gonna lie. I saw he made that big old contract with the Yankees now.
16th captain in history of franchise.
That's pretty nice.
NFL. There's a bunch of quarterbacks wins MVPs.
Who in your opinion is the best quarterback of all time?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. I agree with that. Who are you saying like is the second or third best then? I mean, obviously, I think Brady's up there. It's 7 Super Bowls. I mean, it's kind of hard to, compete with.
Joe Montana's up there.
Joe Montana, I'd say he's a solid 2, number 2 overall.
NBA. Probably go with. There's a bunch of good MVPs. Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, okay. I'd say Michael Jordan, yeah.
Steph Curry.
Okay.
15, 16, Steph Curry. Worked
That was a pretty solid season. Yeah, 80 or 72 wins, right? 73 wins, I think, something like that.
Yeah, and then I don't know hockey, so like Wayne Gretzky maybe.
Yeah, Wayne Gretzky. I think he's probably the best all time.
Soccer. I don't know what soccer's MVP is, so.
Yeah, I don't know. I know Messi's pretty good. I'm assuming he's probably the best. He just won the freaking World Cup.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. He's literally the best soccer player in the world.
Yeah.
Just think, all the sports in the U.S., you're competing against everyone in the U.S., but, when you play soccer, you're competing with everyone in the U.S., North America, and the whole world.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Keep or get rid of the DH?
Keep.
Why?
Just, I don't know, I think having that spot just kind of helps the hitting, makes it a little more fun to watch.
Yeah.
I do, I don't know, when the National League cut it out, I remember when the National League used to have the pitcher bat, and I thought it was always pretty cool because you kind of had to strategize how you wanted to play around, because your pitcher most likely was almost an automatic out, but, if you were, if you're trying to make a comeback or something, you got, base runners on there, you're trying to score a run.
Yeah.
Do you keep your pitcher in? Because if you pull your pitcher and have a pitch hitter, the hitter's going to be better probably, more likely to score you the runs, but when you pull your pitcher, they're out. You got to get a new pitcher for the next inning to pitch. So, I kind of like that, but I think having a designated hitter definitely helps out the hitting and all that.
Yeah, it helps, the pitchers, too, because, the pitchers will get tired. So.
Pitchers will get tired, and obviously, other than, certain playoff games, who really wants to watch a pitcher bat?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool when you see them get a hit or two, but most of the time, they're almost an automatic out. And I think replacing with a designated hitter would be more beneficial for the game.
Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson.
I'll say career-wise, Magic Johnson. Better player, Larry Bird. Because,
I haven't done much research on them, but I know that you can make a very good argument for both of them. They're one of the greatest, two-way rivalry between the two of them.
Yeah. Should Pete Rose get in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I think he should.
Yeah. That was stupid because, he was gambling.
Yeah. I don't really know. Did he gamble against the Reds when he played for them?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so, that is a little shady. Because I was going to say, if he wasn't gambling on the Reds or something, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
The gambling, you still got to get the hits. He's the all-time hit leader, isn't he?
Yeah.
So, you can bet on yourself, but, at the end of the day, he still got the hits. It's not like he didn't take steroids or anything, did he?
No.
Okay, so, I don't know. It's hard to say then. I'm not a big fan of all the gambling and all that, but then again, the man did get the accomplishments, so.
Yeah.
What do you think? You think he should?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Was it Phil Jackson or the players, winning championships?
Phil Jackson. So you're talking about the Phil Jackson Bulls, Lakers, or both?
Both, like Kobe and Shaq, or Michael and Scotty.
I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, one of the greatest of all times.
Yeah.
But then again, you have such great talent on your team. You gotta be able to know how to coach it.
Yeah.
To his credit, he was able to coach, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman,
Yeah.
and then he was able to coach teams with Kobe and Shaq. And I think he was just really good with working with those. I'll give Phil Jackson credit, but I'll also give Michael Jordan and Kobe and all their credit too.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's both. You gotta win championships. Yeah. Does soccer need an instant replay?
Do they have instant replay?
I don't think so.
I'm trying to remember. The only game I watched in the World Cup was that championship final on Sunday.
Yeah.
If there's one suggestion I'd make for soccer is that I don't understand why they count time up.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that. I don't know why they don't just do I've watched Ohio State college level soccer. The way they do is they do 2 45-minute halves, and when there's an injury or something or a timeout, they just stop the clock.
Yeah.
And when the ball goes back in play and on their play, and they stop the clock down. When it gets to 0, that's halftime and the game's over. There's no extra time or anything.
Yeah.
So I like that format. I don't know. But they've been doing counting up since I don't know when. What do you think?
Yeah, to have it. So, in case whatsoever, who is a current icon athlete?
Icon athlete?
Yeah, I'll say Mike Trout.
Iconic athlete right now in all sports.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna be real. The most iconic athlete right now probably has to be Messi.
Yeah.
I'm not a big soccer fan, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Dude's won so much.
Yeah.
I don't understand much about soccer. I just know. To win a World Cup's pretty darn impressive.
Yeah.
I know he's won other accolades and all that throughout his career. I wish you could see Mike Trout in the playoffs. Make a run for the World Series, but I don't know what they're doing out there in LA with him. They're wasting his career.
Yeah. Who is the best team ever?
We're talking sports in general. You got to talk about the dream teams of the U.S. basketball. I'd say.
Yeah.
Was it the '92 dream team? Was that the one with Michael Jordan, Pippen, Larry, Magic?
Yep.
Everyone there's a Hall of Famer. I want to say, except for one guy.
Yeah. Christian Laettner.
Laettner, yeah, he's the guy that got over Shaq, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty stacked team.
Which city needs a sports team?
For any of the major sports or a specific sport in general, like baseball.
Just
football.
like a city, cities. So Las Vegas doesn't have a baseball team.
I haven't really looked into it too much. I got to look at different cities and how they support their franchises.
Yeah.
I know obviously at Ohio State, in Columbus,
Yeah.
they have the Blue Jackets there.
Yeah.
But they do not draw very well. They do not have a very solid fan base. I think if you put any other professional team, they just wouldn't be able to compete with Ohio State athletics.
Yeah.
You put a professional football team in Columbus, and they're not gonna have much of a fan base. Everyone there's an Ohio State fan, and I think that's just one of the things about these certain cities is if you have a big college, like Cleveland. There's not an Ohio State in Cleveland. There's Cleveland State, but Cleveland State isn't Ohio State. You know what I mean?
Yep.
What cities do you think deserve?
Probably Cincinnati for basketball, Pittsburgh for basketball. So.
See, my argument with Cincinnati is that Cincinnati has the University of Cincinnati and Xavier.
Yeah.
And they're both actually good in basketball.
Yeah.
So it'd be hard to compete with those. And obviously the Cavs have a legit fan base.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else, but yeah.
What is the most overrated stat in sports?
Most overrated stat in sports.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That's a tough one. I'll say plus and minus because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense towards me. So
I could see plus minus being important. What's gonna be important? It's not. I don't know. I mean, I guess whenever you see a box score like a baseball game, you see the hits and errors.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, those don't really mean anything. They just represent. I mean, obviously, you need hits in order to score runs.
yeah,
So many people brag about, they had so many hits, there's so many opportunities to score. But at the end of the game,
yeah,
it's like in hockey and soccer when they have like shots on goal. One team could be completely dominating, but at the end of the day, somebody get through the net, and that wins the game is the goals. And then another thing is football. I think time of possession. Some teams, typically the team that wins controls the ball longer, but
yeah.
in other cases, some teams can score quicker. They find a way to score more other ways without controlling the ball longer than the other team. So I think those are kind of stats. I mean, they're I can see their importance, but it's like at the end of the day, those they won't win you the game.
Yeah. We got 2 more questions before break time.
All right, cool. Let's go on.
We got some more. So, should some athletes stop smoking weed?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, obviously there's a lot of research on weed. Definitely helps calm people from anxiety and all that. And I think being a professional athlete, you definitely deal with a lot of stress and all that. I know marijuana and weed can help out with all that.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's really acceptable yet.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's really like a performance enhancing drug like a PED or something.
Oh yeah.
There's other supplements that obviously taking steroids or something. Those would obviously impact your athletic performance, but taking weed or something really wouldn't. Because there was that one person in the Olympics that she got busted for weed, and she wasn't able to compete in track. I forget what her name was, but yeah, she's like a
Josh
sprinter.
Gordon too.
Josh Gordon, yeah. And I don't know what the heck he's up to now, but
one more for the break. Should some sports fans should be censored? So like swearing and all that.
should it be censored?
Yeah. On TV.
I mean, they do a pretty good job about that, right? Don't they?
I think so.
Occasionally something slips out where you hear it on national television, but I think isn't most games like delayed by a couple seconds to kind of like blur out something like that?
Yeah.
So.
Alright, we'll be back for part 2. Welcome back for part 2. Alright, we had to take a little break, so. Alright. Should the NFL do more protecting players from concussions?
Yes. I think they kind of have to do it sometimes. They kind of skip through some things to make sure certain players can play, even though they physically really can't.
Yeah.
And there should be a different testing thing that they do to ensure that everyone is healthy and have the ability to play and not playing with some sort of illness or injury that could worsen and really affect them in the long term.
Yeah. They gotta stay healthy to win MVPs, championships, and all that. So
Indeed.
Should sports stay out of politics? I think so.
Yeah, I think sports are sports. I think one of the things about sports is that people look at sports as something look away from everyday life and politics and all that. And I think bringing politics into it really isn't the best sometimes, and especially people are gonna have different views on their stuff depending on where they stand politically, and sometimes if a certain player, a certain team, a certain franchise organization does something, it could maybe benefit one side, another side maybe politically won't agree with them, and they'll be against them. It just creates more conflict and all that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I like there's certain movements that they do I think that are positive in both ways, but I think overall just keeping politics out would be just for the best of everything.
You just play the game and that's it. Best coach in sports all time. say Paul Brown.
Paul Brown, okay.
Because I'm not being biased. He's a better coach than Bill Belichick. Because
Bill Belichick's a pretty solid coach.
But he.
What if we talk about college football though? We talk about like Nick. We'll talk about Nick Saban. Is he up there as the top coach of all time? I mean,
Yeah.
you could put him up there. I mean,
Yeah.
he just think the Browns had Nick Saban and Bill Belichick together on their team.
Yeah.
They didn't win anything.
Yeah.
But obviously they struggled there, but then obviously Bill Belichick won 6 Super Bowls with
With
Patriots.
Tom Brady. Yeah.
And then Nick Saban's had a dynasty in Alabama now. So
Yeah. Best dynasty in sports ever.
best dynasty. Ooh. Oh,
There's a bunch of them, man.
there's a bunch.
Yankees got a bunch of them.
Yankees got some. The Bulls got those in the 90s. Lakers in the early 2000s.
Celtics.
Warriors now. Celtics. Lakers.
Canadians, I think.
Canadians were good back in the day. What are you saying on this? I'm kind of perplexed. There's a lot of different options to choose on this.
Wow, man. Steelers got a dynasty.
Steelers were good back in the 70s.
I think the Browns had
The Browns were good in the 50s and 60s. They were a dynasty back then.
Yeah. Indians could have been a dynasty in the 90s.
Yeah, they fell short 2 years though.
Cavs too. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if one championship can call them a dynasty. I wish I could have won like 2 or 3 though with LeBron and they came back there, but I'm happy with one.
Yeah. It's tough. It's a tough question. Should WWE count as a sports league?
No,
Why?
it's staged.
Yeah.
I mean,
Still
I was into it as a kid, and then I found out it was staged. I'm like, oh,
It's still wrestling though.
it's entertainment. I mean, I don't know. I thought I was really like into it with the plot. I was like, I'm sure you were probably when you were a kid. You were probably like, wow, that's actually really cool. I mean, it's entertaining, but like it's not real. It's fake.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's
Greatest athlete ever.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Who are you saying on this?
Man. This is the top 4. Babe Ruth, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, and then Wayne Gretzky.
So you're saying the big 4 North American sports.
Yeah.
Those are the 4 greatest. I'd have to agree with you with those. To pick one of all time would be pretty tough.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you gotta consider other sports too. I mean, could you say Michael Phelps? He's the best swimmer of all time, isn't he?
Yeah. Messi's the best soccer player.
Messi's the best soccer player. Usain Bolt's probably the greatest sprinter of all time, if not one of the.
Yeah.
Who else? I'm sure there's probably a really good cricket player we don't even know about. Same with like rugby or all those other sports.
Yeah.
Gymnastics.
Different sports in the world.
Oh, there's plenty.
Is Tom Brady the GOAT of NFL?
Yeah, I'd have to say.
All records he owns.
Yeah, he's the best. I'm not gonna say he's the greatest athlete of all time in the NFL, but I think he's the greatest if you look at accomplishments and what he's done.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard for him to top that.
Yeah. Most overrated players in each league. Give a reasoning.
I want to hear what you have to say about this first.
All right, MLB all time. Man, MLB. Maybe Lindor. Maybe.
Okay. I can see that.
Because the Indians or the Guardians did good without him in the playoffs.
They did make it far in the playoffs without him. That is
won
correct.
the trade.
We won the trade. We won our division. Mets didn't. Mets made it in the wild card game and lost. We won the wild card game.
Yeah.
And he's getting paid how much out there? He's getting paid so much more. Did you see the Mets payroll? How much they're paying their guys?
Wow.
All that money just to not make it past the wild card, man. That's crazy. The Guardians have like a little fraction of that. They still made it farther.
NFL is Lamar Jackson. He's a stat pattern. He just stats from rushing touchdowns and yards. He's not a good quarterback. He should be a running back. I don't know why people consider him a quarterback. NBA is Ben Simmons because he can't shoot. He's a wine. He doesn't have a great attitude.
I don't even think Ben Simmons is even overrated. I don't think people even care about him anymore.
Yeah,
You've seen his play out there. He doesn't even care out there anymore.
Yeah,
It's sad. He went from number one overall pick to like not even caring about anything anymore.
yeah.
It's sad.
NHL. Man, that's a tough one because I barely know hockey.
I gotta say, like, what team is always overrated is the Toronto Maple Leafs. They always seem to be really good in the playoffs, and they always just fall apart in the playoffs and all that. And they get all this hype. They haven't won a championship in decades, I think, something like that. I haven't done much research on hockey, but I just know about them that they've been struggling for a while.
Gotta do some research.
Yeah, I gotta start watching hockey more. I'm guilty of only watching hockey in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Hockey playoffs is probably one of the best playoff setups of all time.
It's underrated.
Oh, it is. It's definitely underrated. I mean, it's honestly better than the NBA because NBA is too predictable sometimes.
Yeah.
NHL, I mean, usually the best team doesn't even win the Stanley Cup. So,
Best sports betting site.
you're trying to start sports betting here, January 1st. Trying to do a promotional thing here, trying to promote the different sites here.
Yeah.
You getting sponsored already?
Yeah.
What? Okay, so you when do you turn 21?
March.
March 10th, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when it is March 10th,
Yeah.
will you be sports betting?
Yes.
And what site will you be using?
Either FanDuel. I think I know FanDuel and the other one I can't think of.
I know FanDuel and DraftKings. I know those are the two big ones.
Yeah.
So when you turn 21, you're gonna set up an account on those sites,
Yep.
or at least one of them.
Yeah.
And you'll be drinking what kind of alcoholic beverage at that point?
I don't know, man.
You'll be 21 though. You better be having something. You better not be sipping on just juice and water now.
Alright. Is tennis a team sport? Could it be a team sport?
Like, I mean, it's technically a team sport when you're playing doubles, right?
Yeah. Sure. Alright. So why the Browns are cursed?
Why are the Browns cursed?
Yeah.
Is there actually a curse on them? I haven't done enough research on them.
Yeah.
Is it because Art Modell is cursing them because he moved the team, or is it because...
I think there's a bunch of reasons why.
Is it because they play at their stadium or whatever? I know something. Don't the Browns play, like, their stadium is on a landfill?
Yeah.
You heard about that?
I think so, yeah.
Maybe that's why they play trash. They're playing above trash.
I can give a reasoning why. They have, for the past, 20 years since 99,
Ever since they came back.
yeah, they have terrible coaches. Terrible. And then, terrible quarterbacks. The best quarterbacks they ever drafted was Baker Mayfield. He was a decent quarterback.
Look at how he's doing. I mean, he's decent with the Rams now, but I
Yeah.
mean, he's not number one, draft pick overall worthy. I mean, he's definitely he lived through the hype for a year or two on the Browns, but then obviously last year he really regressed, and this year, I mean, he's gone downhill.
I think if the Browns didn't mess him up, he would stay with the Browns. I
I don't know. It's hard to say.
and then draft picks too. That's
All the busts they draft.
Yep, Johnny Manziel,
Johnny Manziel,
Trent Richardson.
Richardson, Deshaun Kaiser.
Yeah. Name the top 5 past athletes that played in Cleveland. Top 5.
Past athletes.
Yeah, that played in Cleveland.
All right. Well, I mean, number one's got to be LeBron, right?
Yeah.
He's
Well,
past-
he's still correct.
He's active, but he doesn't play in Cleveland anymore.
Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
so you can say LeBron,
Kyrie.
maybe Kyrie.
Jim
Cleveland
Brown.
athlete, we're talking Jim Brown, obviously. Jim Brown's got to be up there. Bob Feller, probably.
Jim Tomey.
Jim Tomey probably ranks up there. I'm trying to think who else. Maybe obviously those 50s, 60s Browns teams probably had some solid guys
Otto
out there.
Graham, maybe
Otto Graham,
Bernie
Lou
Kosar.
Groza, Bernie Kosar. Obviously I'm going over 5 now.
This
but
is my top 5.
who you're talking? Go through top 5 here. So number 1 is
Number 1 is probably Jim Brown.
Jim Brown. Okay, I can agree with that. Yeah.
2's gotta be Jim Tomey.
Tell me. Okay.
3 is LeBron.
3 is LeBron. Okay.
4, Bernie Kosar.
Okay.
5. Buffalo. Honorable mention is Kyrie Irving.
Okay. I like that.
What is the best logo that Cleveland sports ever had?
Ooh.
I'll say the Chief
I was
Wahoo.
gonna say I want to say the Chief Wahoo. I don't know.
Chief Wahoo.
Yeah, people find it offensive now, but it's a pretty cool design. I'm not gonna lie.
It's stupid.
You ever seen the old one?
Yeah.
The old one. Like now like the red
yellow.
shoe, like the actual, cause like a yellow skin or whatever. Yeah. Like, I guess it's racist now. I thought it was a pretty cool design. I didn't see it that way, but
Yeah.
it's just the black C now. Or is that even the black C? What's the new like font they have now? It's like the new C. It's not the old black one.
It's like something like that.
It's different now. They changed it once they called them the Guardians this year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the original, like Indians name and like the old Indians uniforms and all that. But
That's all I have for questions, but like I can ask any more.
I mean, I think I'm good here. Really want to thank you for having me on this show. Really like the content you produced on here.
Thank
I'm excited to work with you down in the future. Maybe have some more podcasts out here and promote the podcast.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for inviting me. Have a good holiday, everyone.